So we've got. Oh, I should probably update the names, huh? People would probably appreciate if I actually had people named right.
Yeah, probably they would appreciate it if the names were updated.
We no longer have Gatsby
Won't they be surprised?
playing on the stream.
Looks like the bottom bush of the top lane has been warded by both players.
Yeah. The interesting thing here is both of them are running Warden.
Nightmare.
Oh, the other thing is interesting is I haven't seen this start yet. I've got Wildkarrde with a Will 3-pot start.
Wow. Yeah, they have gone ultra defensive. The thing about the Warden, that's the throwback to the old days when you had the Force Bubble build that was both the bubble and what is now the Warden passive and magic resist. And it looks like we've got at least a Wildkarrde running the magic resist, some defense pen, cooldown reduction, smattering of staff, but really going heavy in magic resist. Whereas Para's really kind of gone all over the place. He's got some experience, he's got health regen, cooldown, health, armor, mastery, power. I mean, talk about a jambalaya of stats there. It's pretty crazy.
Minions have spawned.
No kidding. Actually, I think I'm not seeing the loadouts. Okay, there we go. Sorry, I wasn't seeing the loadouts properly. I was clicking on Paradelton and seeing Wildkarrde, so I was like, they're not running the same thing, are they? So that would be kind of weird.
Well, it's technically possible with the loadout system, but don't think it's happening.
Very improbable.
Finally,
Wildkarrde
finally
walks
get a bit of
right
one.
into it.
Para's like, yes, I win. Game over.
Hey man,
call
gotta have that tack, Vim. And that extra pot can mean the difference. As we've seen many, many times, those potions make a huge difference here. Even late in the game. I mean, my god, we still had Gatsby buying, what, 10 potions at level 15 even. Which is going to be doubly important, I think, with the Warden passive here. That allows the players to not take any real damage until they've taken a little bit of extra harass. Oh my gosh, the aggression coming out from Wildkarrde with the quick Nightmare Ripple. Nightmare.
Well, he knows he can afford to take a little damage early because he's going to win those trades because of all the magic resist he has. So it looks like Para's health regen though filled him right back up. I think faster than he was expecting because he is already back at full again.
Absolutely. They've both taken Bastion, although Para's down to 1 potion. And Wildkarrde actually hasn't popped one yet, so that explains the regen.
Yep.
Nice ripple into a Nightmare by Wildkarrde, although I would have rather seen the Nightmare first. Kind of wasting the Dream Wrap there, but it could have been just to make sure Wildkarrde didn't harass him for it when going in for those last hits. No sense wasting the damage that you know is just all going to be shielded anyway. Even though they don't have, mana per se like you would in other games, you still have to wait on cooldown, so you don't want to waste time delivering damage into something that's not going to do any damage.
Exactly. And I know we had people talking earlier that, resourceless champions, watching them fight in a 1v1 seems a little boring, but honestly, that's actually a lot more aggressive than having a mana champion. A champion that has a resource like mana isn't going to be able to necessarily spam abilities out. They're not going to necessarily be aggressive. They're going to be patient. They're going to be slow. They're going to burst. But that's going to be about it. This allows you constant aggression. A lot of our competitors, like as we've seen recently, play very safe. That's just knowing your positioning, knowing how to play as a support. I mean, in a regular match as a support on Dibs, you're going to need to be able to not take any damage. You're going to need to be able to dodge those skill shots, and not just from the opposing support, but also from their damage carry.
Yep, and also in Dongit, it's also very important to actually dodge that harass, not only because of, the damage taken, but Tactician, you don't want to give your opponent free Vim.
Exactly. I mean, you're giving them multiple advantages by letting them harass you with Tactician.
So even though they're mitigating the damage, they're still giving them money, and that's still not the best thing in the world to do.
So Para's sitting here just using the life to sustain, and his loadout's health regen, whereas we still haven't seen Wildkarrde go through any of those potions yet.
No, he's just sitting on them.
Give it up for me.
That defense penetration coming through for Wildkarrde, though, you can definitely see it making a big difference in the on how much damage Paradelton's taking.
When he actually walks into one of those nightmares, it is a good chunk.
Nightmare.
Same can't be said on the other side, though. He's just sitting on. You're looking at
Yeah,
66,
man.
66 MR on. 66 magic resist on Wildkarrde versus 33 on Paradelton. So you're seeing
And not to mention he gets
that's being the big difference right there when those trades.
Magic.
Yeah, and then he gets a flat 10 reduction from the will too. Don't forget that. That makes a big difference as well.
Oh,
There's the referee.
going with doubles.
He's already popped
doubles.
everything though. He's out of cooldowns.
We may see
Is
the kill
Paradelton
anyway.
gonna get
Oh,
this?
pulls out
There's
the
the Bastion. Yeah, Paradelton.
Going in. Oh, that was close. One more nightmare, and I think he would have been able to turn that around. But that was well played by both of them.
Yeah, man. Just one more shot would have gotten him.
So
All right, looks
I
like we
have,
got the standard Paradelton going life 2 pots. Let's see if Wildkarrde does his will 3 again.
that's what we're looking at. I have to say,
It's will 3.
the Moya that I have been randoming, I've random Moya in more of these matches because I'm just hitting the random button and locking in.
Nightmare.
And I swear I've landed on Moya at least 4 times.
That'll stop.
It's telling you to play Moya. That's basically what it's
basically
saying.
play more Moya, get no karma.
Exactly.
Yes. So we've got the same loadouts. It looks like again. I don't think they changed
Exact
anything up.
same loadouts. Change nothing.
We've got no spell choice on Wildkarrde though. So
And Bastion on Paradelton. Very similar start to last time.
he's
30
taken that
seconds until minions
taking
spawn.
that advantage, taking that lead on the last one. Saying
Doesn't
I'm gonna
look like
bait
anyone's-
I'm gonna bait out some action from you because that's really what it does. A lot of people say, you know what, they'll put in the hotkeys, they'll have the spells they know they want to choose hotkeyed, and when they get into the middle of a fight, depending on what they want to do in that fight, then they'll pick it. And you know,
Oh, yeah.
if you're at that level of play, you know, props to you. I cannot do that. I just choose mine right off the bat.
No, I gotta pick one immediately.
Minions have
I
spawned.
am not on the leaderboard. I am in the dump yard. It is called Gaarawarr's dump yard, and everybody can come visit me anytime they want.
Hey, it's all right. I'm right there with you, buddy.
All right, so none of this harass really landing. Oh, and then
Well, actually, Wildkarrde's
Caster
landed
Curse.
2 or 3.
Yeah, Caster Curse, he nails the next one.
Nightmare.
All right, so what do we see this game? You think? You think it's good? I'm actually surprised that with the loadouts and the builds this defensive, it's been our most explosive games so far.
Yeah,
crazy,
that's
don't you think?
that was surprising actually for it to go so fast in that first match. I mean, I think I don't know. I think Wildkarrde really just played his defensive stats right. He chunked down, and then once he had a significant health advantage, he went in. And you can do that early, even when you're at a power disadvantage. Just because you get somebody into a low position, you get them, you know, kind of like they want to go all in, they want to bait you out, and because they know you don't have a lot of power, and then you just rely on those defensive stats to win the trades.
Yep, they were using their defensive stats to play more aggressive, which is often, you know, pretty good play.
Again.
Kind of like when you see, you know, like I see a lot of Volix play. You know, he's like big burst damage guy, but you know, usually don't see any more than 2 offensive items on him. And for that reason, he needs to be able to get in there. He needs to be able to live to do the damage. And it's the same thing that same principle that Wildkarrde's showing here.
Harry.
Because you know what, you can't do damage dead.
Freeze.
Unless you're Karthus, but that's a whole other game.
Yeah, but yeah, that's true.
Although Desecrator. Okay, let's go for a donkey.
Well, okay. Desecrator is technically dead. all
Desecrator
the
does quite a bit of damage and he's dead. So
time. Power Crater OP. Waystone, please.
Nightmare.
I think all versions of Desecrator are pretty strong. You can go the
Yeah.
Power Crater, you can go the Haste Crater.
Victory.
All right. Be careful. I mean, we're gonna have Muzzy. You know, we're gonna have Muzzy going crazy in chat here if we keep talking about Desecrator like this. See, there's that basic combo again, the Ripple into the Nightmare. I'm not seeing a lot of Nightmares into Ripples into Nightmares. More opening with the Ripple here, just making sure they land the Nightmare and not taking any risks.
Nightmare. Booga booga.
Although one thing I don't like that Paradelton's doing is that Wildkarrde's coming up to Ripple, but he's not getting punished for it. Not anywhere near enough. You know, I know when we saw Gatsby get closed in like that on stream, he would immediately punish with a Nightmare just for trying to get that close.
Yeah. But again, Wildkarrde using those defensive stats to pressure on Para, knowing that he can win that trade because it's going to be an equal trade as long as he's he's the one moving in and out. So.
Yeah, and it's still, I mean, he's got double the magic resist of Paradelton still.
Well, he's got the same loadout, same will. I mean, that's, you got to remember, Dibs does not scale any magic resist on his own. All he scales is armor.
Considered ranged.
So if you want magic resist early on him, you got to put it in your loadout or you got to buy that item. And this is something you don't see a lot necessarily in 5v5 play because it's blind pick, so you never really know who you're going up against. But once you get into that draft mode, once you get into that draft mode, you're going to see a lot more smart choices out of loadouts in terms of just countering your lane, not necessarily just going in with a general loadout. Right now, people tend to pick those loadouts based off just what generally is going to be a good stats. But shutting someone down like this can be a big deal.
Yeah, and also with the new map version that's coming out, that's going to have a what I like to call a safe lane. Oh, there's the Reverie into a Nightmare, into a Ripple. Nope, he's not going to chase it, though.
Para's just not low enough for him to dive.
No, he's not. I think that was a premature pop on the Reverie. I'm not sure if he meant to do that, but I don't...
I think he might have thought he was going to chunk a little more damage off Para there.
Maybe.
And, you know, that's what you want. You want to pop that Reverie. You get that 25 power flat, just straight off the bat from Reverie. And then, you know, if you can land that Nightmare into a Ripple into another Nightmare, that's going to be a big chunk of damage off somebody at this point.
Well, I mean, it's not just a 25 flat power. The more power you have, the more power the aura gives you. Which is the other reason why we say build a lot of power on Dibs, because this just makes everything about you better. Paradelton goes back. Let's see what he picks up. He's picked... Oh, you're going to like this one, Gaarawarr. He picks up a Growth, actually. Growth, and he didn't pick up any more potions. So he'll be able to sustain that damage he's taken from the Nightmares back up, but I still think the higher magic resist is going to do Wildkarrde much better on the extra regen. I'd imagine Wildkarrde's going to go back here pretty soon. Maybe push this wave up into the binding, wait for the Strider wave to push, and then go back.
I mean, if he wants to stay in the item game, yeah, but he has the defense to sit here. You know, he knows that Para went into Growth, so there's not a lot of damage spike coming out of it. You know, I mean, he got the power with it, but ultimately it's just he's landing those Nightmares hopefully a little more often. So Wild can stay in this for a little while longer. Although then I say that, he puts himself in a really awkward position.
Exactly.
Really, Wild, please.
Wild's getting really low. Paradelton's coming in. He's forced out the bastion.
Baited. Oh, is he going to get away from this?
Oh,
into the binding shot.
Oh, man.
Wow.
Okay, now Wildkarrde for sure has to be going back now. Well, no, like we were saying earlier before all that broke out there, even with the new map version coming out here, it's going to have, you know, the top lane is going to have fewer gank paths to it than the bottom unless they've changed it, and they haven't said anything yet. So you'll have a safe lane and a hard lane, much like you do in Dota 2, and that way you'll be able to predict what shapers you're more likely to meet in a particular lane, so that'll go further into bringing in optimal loadouts and starting items and such. Looks like Wildkarrde has picked up a Force and a Wisdom. Pain, maybe? I mean, Hostility, maybe.
But again, you're not necessarily going into that purple. You know, you get in the blues for the efficiency, and those are some pretty efficient blues.
Yeah, the Mastery, though, is nice. Oh, Wildkarrde's
chunking
gonna go
right off.
I think, on this.
I mean, I don't think he was expecting all that damage.
Paradelton does have Reverie, so if he gets in trouble, he can get out. And I think he's going to go back. He almost has to. There's no way he can stick around this. Oh gosh, Wildkarrde's got 14 CS on Paradelton. Oh, here comes the Reverie back in the lane. Heads the rifle into the Nightmare. Nice chunk of damage, but it only gets through the force barrier in a third of his health. Wildkarrde, oh, Wildkarrde, you gotta get out of there, bro. There's no way you can stay in there. Oh, eating more Nightmares and the trades and the auto attacks down to a quarter health.
That's what that control allows. It allows you to control that lane, move him around. But even as it is, Pear is almost dead. It's like we're going in again.
Dead. Oh, he gets the Nightmare.
Oh my!
Bastion.
And he's
Into
diving,
the river,
and
into
here
the
we
auto
go.
attack, and the
One
Nightmare.
more. Oh,
And he
got
got him. Nice job. GG Wildkarrde.
That was really, really close. I mean,
that was good game,
I can't fault Paradelton's play at all. I mean, he stayed in there for that, and I would have too. He was one hit off from pulling out that win. So
yeah, and the other thing, he was 15 CS down. He had to do something. If he went back one more time, he was going to lose on CS. So I don't blame him for doing what he did.